The fucking sheep are making it. Goodbye, my Coney Island baby. Quality content here for you folks. But I think I have found quite possibly one of the nicest compositions or photographs ever that I at least have taken. It is stunning. Hello there, peanuts. Hello there folks, and how is it going? And welcome back to another video. We are still in Spain, which will probably be for the next few videos too, but wow. This is like the second day and we're already like at how gorgeous it is. We are on a trail, and I don't remember the name of the trail. I'm gonna pop it up on screen, and I will do that, I promise, because it's wonderful, and if you come here you really should do it. We've just begun, but ultimately we're looking to get to the top of the mountain where there's a viewpoint which is going to give us hopefully a nice sweeping grand vista, and the sun is scheduled to set now in about 2 hours, so it gives us plenty of time, and we are just going to take it easy, enjoy nature. And as we're walking up, I will save you all the indignity of watching me drag myself up the hill. We were here, so there's also a second viewpoint down where we parked the car, and I'll overlay a bit of footage that I was able to capture with my phone. But here is it's a sanctuary for a lot of birds of prey. There's vultures. What else is there? There's vultures, there's golden eagles, griffon vultures, Egyptian vultures, a whole plethora of things. Orla took a few pictures, and maybe what I could do is post on the screen now the information board. It was wonderful. So hopefully those pictures turned out okay, and if they did, I'll pop up a few of them for you now, and then me and Orla then will make our way up this wonderful trail. And so let's get walking and let's get bird watching for you guys, and then we'll see you in a few minutes.
Welcome friends to the ASMR Photography Studio, and welcome to this wonderful display of these magnificent birds as they circle overhead, probably looking at me and Orla thinking, there's our lunch. I don't ever tend to get the opportunity to photograph wildlife purely because I never really go looking for it. I'm sure Portugal and Spain, where we are right now, have a multitude of wildlife that can be found and photographed and are just gorgeous. When opportunities like this present themselves, I am super quick to get the camera out and try my best to photograph whatever the wildlife may be. And in this case, as I mentioned in my mad ramblings of the beginning, birds of prey. I have been fascinated with birds like this my entire life, and I relished the opportunity to see them flying overhead, catching twigs, the odd time bumping into each other, and just humbled at the opportunity to photograph them in such a way. Sometimes they flew so close, it was absolutely magnificent, really fantastic. And just like any other wildlife photography encounter, you photograph your little fingers off, and I did no different. I don't even know how many pictures I took, loads. These are just the best ones that really kind of stood out for me at the time when I was reviewing the images, but I am super thrilled with how they turned out. Clean and simple, and then the few with the mountains in the backdrop really add this wonderful scale to the overall scene. I'm thrilled with how they turned out, super duper happy.
Just to give you a frame of reference in terms of where we're standing, I'll overlay a small bit of video But what you're looking at essentially from where we're standing right now is the village that we photographed in last week's video. The beautiful, beautiful village that I still can't remember the name of, and the lake that's down there. And one thing that you really should do, just to kind of show you how much of a drought this area is in, when you Google this particular hike that we're on, you'll see this like grand sweeping vista that we're ultimately looking at here now. But you will notice just how low the level is on the water compared to the images that are up on Google. I don't really know when those images on Google were taken, but I mean, you'll see it's quite low, just to kind of give you an idea that this area, and in Portugal where we live, is always under kind of drought warnings. It's just because the water levels are really getting so low. Anyways, I just wanted to interject our hike with that, just to give you a frame of reference in terms of where we are. But wow, 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 look at this scenery. We're going to pretty much hang a right, or my left, your right. I don't do lefts and rights, I'm not an omni-turner, but we're going to pretty much head up this way, and it'll take us up to the top. Ideally, we want to be looking over here. That's the ideal solution, but let's see. But wow, it is breathtaking. Well, we've made it to the top here, and it is absolutely stunning, like incredible. Now the hunt begins to try and find a composition. Ideally, the mountain range that we were looking at, but that was behind us on the way up, has some absolutely beautiful, beautiful texture to it. So if the light catches that in the right kind of way, then that could prove itself to be very, very nice. But other than that, there's some beautiful trees that are up here to the top. And if I can, I would be incredible to try and isolate and try find one lone tree with a nice kind of background of the mountains that are behind the camera there, behind you guys there. And the same applies over here behind me. But really, wow, it's just so beautiful. I mean, we're just talking about it on the way up, just how accessible this particular hike is and how easy it is. And it really is, it's incredible. It's just absolutely incredible. So let's get to hunting, and let's see what we can do. We are still awestruck at the beautiful, beautiful views. And ultimately what I'm looking at right now is these beautiful trees that are popped up off this cliff edge, and these absolutely incredible mountains behind. So what I'm essentially doing now is, I know the tripod is out, and I know last week I said don't set up your tripod super quick. I'm only doing it for when I activate panic mode later. But right now I just have the camera out, and I'm just kind of scanning up, down, left and right to try and find a good solid composition with these trees here, because they look absolutely gorgeous. I'm just getting my polarizer out because there is a slight haze in the sky, or at least in the air, and I want to use the polarizer to try and cut through that. So I'm going to set that up now just to make sure that that is all cool. But as it stands right now, I am looking at this incredible view. So let's set up and let's find ourselves some nice compositions. Maybe a nice pano could work now that I'm thinking about it. But anyways, I digress. Let's set up.
I stood and marveled at the scene that unfolded before me. For me, this photograph is one of my personal favorites that I have ever taken. Not only was it a wonderful effort to get to the top of the mountain, but just watching the light and the scene unfold, searching and hunting for compositions, and then ultimately settling on this that we see before us now. This for me is exactly why I do this. It is a breathtaking scene, and one that just seemed to stretch out forever. It was just incredible. And having the opportunity to find these trees and act as a nice foreground element, and the sweeping golden light illuminating the grass in the foreground, and ultimately leading us out into these mountains. Oh wow, it's just like it's like the perfect pancake that gets put down in front of you, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So happy with how this image turned out. Wasn't a huge amount of post-production that happened, thankfully in part to the polarizer that I put onto the front of the lens, which really helped cut through the haze, and thankfully the polarizer really helped to bring to life the mountains in the background. But just an absolutely stunning scene, and one that I was thrilled to see. Obviously when we were walking up the trail, we had an inclination as to what could be up there at the viewpoint, but this far exceeded any expectation that I had, and I love this photograph.
So I have come up from our nice shelter to brave the cold wind. It's cold, it's getting really cold. And I am looking at a composition that I kind of caught my eye a bit earlier on in the day, of these two beautiful lone trees here with this incredible background behind. And it's really nice. I might swap lenses with the lens that you're looking at me on now, just to add a bit more kind of compression effect into the frame. And obviously being beautifully lit by the setting sun behind us. And then of course these wonderful mountains in the background here. It's a really nice frame. At least I think it is. And yeah, it's really nice. But what I'm going to do is just swap lenses to the mid-range zoom, just so I can get a bit of compression and play around with that.
These sheep were gas. They just ambling around like, yeah, whatever, I'm in your picture. Deal with it. It was fantastic. And finding these two trees so isolated and so perfectly placed in the negative space between the mighty mountains of the background, and acting as such a wonderful anchor into the entire frame. It just screamed, you need to take this photograph. And the way the sunlight really just kissed the entire frame, it was so beautiful. And in comparison to the previous image, there's a lot of heavy contrast in there, a lot of lights and shadows, whereas this is just a scene that is just bathed in golden light, and one that I really love. The only thing though is there's no sheep's faces. That one lad in the kind of foreground with his head behind the bush, I was like, dude, come on, get your head out of there. But he's like, nah, I'm just eating the grass here, deal with it. So, but other than that, I really love how this image turned out. It's just super gorgeous, and another reason why, you know, the golden hour is the golden hour. It is just such a wonderful time to photograph, and particularly these grand sweeping vistas. Really love this image. Another tree in the foreground. So this is a bit of a theme to this particular video. I didn't do any kind of like talking to the camera for this particular image, as I was just kind of walking around and it was cold. But I really like how this one turned out. This is the same scene as the first vista, except had we have slightly turned our heads to the left, I just could not take the photograph. And for me, the tree so perfectly balances in the foreground, and then again, like the others, leads us out into this wonderful, wonderful vista, and these mountains in the background are just awe-inspiring, truly magical. And I really loved the last of that light, because the sun really went behind the mountains quite quickly after this image was taken, and it was obviously then just a bit of a flatter, albeit magnificent scene, but just flatter. And I really loved the way the last of the sunlight really illuminated the tree in the foreground, and for me, a really lovely balance. Super duper happy with how this one turned out as well. And
so I think we'll call it an evening here, folks. It has been incredible. I'm overjoyed with the fact that we were told about this place. We were told about this place, and that we took the chance to come up and enjoy this walk. The whole area is just incredible, and it's just marvelous. And I really hope everything worked out well in terms of the photographs that you guys would have all seen. I'm looking forward to going through them on the computer, but I'm super duper happy with how everything went today. But I think for now we're going to just enjoy the rest of this trail, head back to the car. Head to that town. We're heading to the town somewhere behind us. We're heading to the town that's there. And the sun is just about to set now in probably another maybe 6 minutes or so. So we're going to head back down. Thankfully the trail gets nice and wide, so it'll be good and safe. But for now, I'll call it a day. And as per usual, folks, if you liked the video, I really hope you did, by all means do hit the like button. And if you do fancy following along for more Spanish adventures and more adventures like this, then by all means do hit that subscribe button. But for now, take it easy, everybody. Cheers.